So just like any body, a web page, or just like any person, a web page has a head, and it has a body that is below the head. So we have a lot of different things going on here. First off, the thing I want to point out is how HTML tags work. You can see that I open a tag here and close it with greater than and less than signs. And I also have opening and closing tags for almost every tag that I do. So I have an opening tag for my HTML tags. I have an opening and closing tag for my head tag. And since the body is not inside of the head, I have an opening and closing tag for my body tag below my head tag. Now I can space these things out. I can also start doing some indenting if it's going to help me read things a little bit better. And typically this happens, you indent one space for every generation. So if I have something inside of head, I may actually indent one more space. For right now, we're not really worried about the things that are going to go inside of the head tag. The things that will go in here, I see I missed my closing tag there, or my less than, I guess. I'm not going to worry about the things that are going to go inside the head. The typical things that will go inside the head are meta tags, like keywords, author, things like that, and also page titles. If I have any links to external style sheets or style information, all that type of thing that doesn't actually show up on the page, all of that goes in the head. The stuff that actually does show up on the page goes in the body. So that is what we are going to really focus on today. Also, you may have some scripts and things that you put in the body, but that's a little bit later on. They don't show up, but in general, if something is going to show up on the page, it's going to go there. So that's what we're focusing on today. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself some space between my opening and closing body tags. And I'm going to go ahead and I am going to start using some of my HTML tags. The first thing I always want you to get used to, even though this is not on the rubric, but it will be in subsequent rubrics, and it's something that you can always think about, is I'm going to create a container ID, or a container div. And a div is just like putting everything inside of a box. In the future, this is going to be used to center everything on the page and hold everything together. So you can just copy this, or if you want to just skip this altogether, since it's not on the rubric, you can, but in the future, this is a very good thing, and you will be graded on this in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and I have my container div. I have a lot of extra space there that I don't need. Okay, now everything that I do is going to be embedded inside of this. This is like if you get a box of goodies from grandma, and all of the goodies are contained inside of the shipping container. That's what that is. This holds everything all together. Okay, so now I'm going to create just a heading. And some of the tags that I've asked you to use, 3 different levels of header, I believe, H1, H2, H3. I've asked you to use an A tag, which is an anchor tag, a P tag, which is a paragraph tag, an H tag, which is a horizontal rule, and a BR, which is a break. You will also, when you do your W3 schools reading, you're going to see a lot of other tags. I mean, I'm giving you some of the very basic tags that show up on a page, but there's so much in your reading, and that's why it's really important that you do this reading and you look at external sources, because there's so much more that you can do that I can't show you everything in this lesson. So make sure that you're looking at external sources also, namely, for starters, W3 schools, but feel free to go to wherever you want. The internet is your textbook. Okay, so I'm going to make an H1 tag, and H1 is header 1. That is going to be the biggest heading that we have. And when we get into cascading styles later on down the line, You'll learn how to style these and control what they actually look like, but there are some default styles that are built in. So notice I did my opening tag and my closing tag in my H1, and they are all contained within my container. And now I can do what everybody does on their very first anything, is do hello world. If I save this, I can go out and open this up in a browser. And yay, there it is. It shows up on the page. Woohoo! I'm going to go ahead and leave this open. I'll just pull it off to the side on my other monitor, which you can't see. Let me pull this off too, so I can always see it. Okay, so there's my H1. Now I can go ahead and I can see my H2, and you can start comparing what happens here. So it's always a good habit to get into to open and close your tags like this together, because when you do that, you know that you have your opening and closing tags, which may not seem like a very big deal right now, but as your pages get more complex and you start embedding, especially when you start embedding divs inside of divs and different things like that, it's important to keep track of your opening and closing tags. That's why that's a good habit. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. If I pull this over and refresh, so you can see how the H1 tag is bigger than the H2 tag, and it goes all the way down to H6. Now, when we get into styles further on, you'll be able to control this, the text, the color, and things like that. We're not worried about that right now. But you can see how these things stack up. Now let's say I want to put a line under my hello world. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put in a horizontal rule. Now this tag is interesting because since it's a horizontal rule, there is not an opening and closing on it. I don't have any contents that go into it. There's no content node in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a slash and close it. And you'll notice, see how this has a slash? Same thing. I'm just going to slash and close. And there's my horizontal rule. Okay. General text, if you're just putting content on your page, that will generally just go in a P tag. So I'm going to go ahead and open and close my P tag. Oops. Hey, Text Wrangler has spell check, which is good for people that can't get their E's and I's in order. Or is it country? I don't remember the slang. There we go. Okay, so I have that, and you can see that that shows up as regular text. Okay, what if I wanted to put this on more than one line? I'm going to go ahead and put a break in there. And break, again, a line break does not have content. There's no content node in there, so I'm just going to close it off. You'll learn more about nodes later on. That comes in the programming class. Save and view. Now I want to go ahead and put a picture of my dog, and in the meantime, when I took a little break from filming here, I put a picture of my dog inside of this inside of my images folder. And I want to talk about naming conventions here. There's some things I did. I deliberately named this image incorrectly so we could see why it's incorrect. For starters, you'll see that I have, and this put dashes for me, which I didn't want to do, but I have a capital. Again, I don't want you to use capital letters because you'll run into trouble with case-sensitive servers. So unless you are very deliberately using camel casing, which is a style of texting or a style of coding, it's easier and safer for you just to remember to always use lowercase letters. Additionally, I put spaces in here, and my machine put dashes in for me. But I really don't want that. You want to make sure you have no spaces, no funky characters like exclamation points or hashtags or asterisks. You don't want to use any funky characters, any spaces, any capital letters, anything like that. Plus, this is pretty long, so I'm just going to call it Max. There we go. So that's very simple. I don't have any funky characters. I don't have any spaces. I don't have any capital letters.